Okay, my name is Kristyn Greenwood. I also work at Oracle, and like Jen, these views are not necessarily reflect Oracle. In fact, I'd rather they didn't know that I could do things cheaper than they think. So I'm going to talk about remote usability testing and how I think it can save you money. So I'm going to confess, I love big lab tests. I think they're really useful, I think they're very fun, but there's overhead, even for me, who's got lots of nice corporate labs to make use of. So what is the alternative? Well, there is discounted guerrilla usability testing, and it's useful. You don't always need a full lab test, but sometimes you do need that full lab test. And doing the guerrilla usability testing isn't going to get to the data that you want. So I stumbled on a secret. Remote tests are cheaper than in-person lab tests, either if you're using a corporate lab or if you're doing this out of your house. And I assumed it would be more expensive. I thought, oh, more equipment is going to add to the expense. And I forgot to consider the fact that there were things you could drop, that you didn't have to have all the overhead. So when doing remote tests, focus on what you are saving, what you don't have to have, and also look at some of the benefits of international testing. Now, before I tell you about how remote testing is cheaper, I do want to say that this is not unmoderated usability testing. This is a one-on-one usability test where the room that the participant is and where you are might be very geographically different, not just a different lab. So why is it cheaper? I have a huge list. I'm going to give you my top 3, but there are many. So if you have ones to add, definitely tell me later. Number 1, reduced travel. You do not have to travel to Las Vegas to do your study, then you're going to save some money. And most of my software teams these days are global. London, France, India, Japan, their customers may be global as well. And with no travel, no airplane, no hotel, no idle time waiting for your missed connection, time equals money. And I definitely like not having to travel. So number 2, well, you don't have the lab cost. You don't have to rent and maintain a lab. You don't have the expensive video equipment. Believe me, it's very expensive to maintain that stuff. You can do your study from your back deck, your kitchen table, sitting on your bed. They don't know. So just to talk about this a little bit, I got some numbers. The cost to build a lab is anywhere between $20K and $30K. To rent a lab for a day, about $1,000. Portable lab is about $500 a day. And web conference, I can get it for $500 a year. Complete support. Now, I'm also showing this a picture of the computers because that's a bit of a wash. You're going to spend more on your computer, less on the computer for the user. But at least it doesn't add anything. So the last reason it's cheaper, user recruitment is so much cheaper. You don't have to have a big recruiting budget because you're not spending as much time and you don't have to give as many incentives. And there's a couple ways this plays out. First of all, you got a bigger pool of folks, not just those in your area. Gee, you have tapped everybody in Raleigh, North Carolina. Well, gee, now I can find people around the world who want to do this. And your participant incentive, your thank you gift, it can be smaller because it's easier to find somebody who wants to be doing it for you. Lack of travel means your participants don't have to travel to you. They're more willing to participate if it doesn't involve a half-hour drive. And if they're more willing to participate, you don't have to give them as big of a gift, and your schedule can be tighter. Customers are a great resource when you're doing remote usability testing. They are willing to participate in a study from their office site. They are motivated, and usually they can't take a thank you gift. You can also get a list of customers to involve in your testing from product management, or marketing, or salespeople, which means you're not paying an outside agency to find you that specialized person. Well, PM knows who is using the product. They know who they're selling to. So it really is important to focus on how you can make use of your customers, how you can make use of the product management, the various teams that you have working with you to give you the users, give you the environment where you can do your usability testing. And I threw this in because I just love the idea of your users are on the cloud, our testing should be on the cloud. We need to change all of that. And my final slide, I'm going to give you a link to a starting point. There's lots and lots of resources. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a problem with the friends, but I'll fix it when it goes up on SlideShare. But this is one of my favorites for just getting started. What do you need to know? But there's a lot of resources out there on how to do remote usability testing. So thank you. Oh, oops.
Very good.